Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kaplan Field for a Wednesday night Skyline Conference matchup between the Mount St. Mary Knights and the Griffins of Sarah Lawrence. I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth, as always, is Bob Hauk. Bob, what are we looking for in tonight's contest?
This is for sure a chippy matchup. I was talking to some of the gentlemen at an undisclosed location, because I cannot say that on a live broadcast, but I'm acquainted with a lot of these guys. And the boys in the Mount were telling me how important this matchup is, and they really, really want to get a dub tonight. So Sarah Lawrence has been very loud pregame, but I know the Mount is hungry too, so this is going to be a brawl.
Both sides ready to rock. The Knights the Knights picked up their first conference W a couple of days ago. They beat Old Westbury at Old Westbury to the tune of a 2-1 score. Their record in conference is 1-0-1. As for the Griffins, they opened their conference play out against Farmingdale State with a 1-1 tie. They currently sit at 0-0-1.
Absolutely, and freshman forward Cam Welsh with another goal. The rising talisman with two in his last two-game winners. It's going to be an interesting one today.
So, Bob, it's good. I would say it's certainly a night for some soccer. The weather forecast admittedly isn't great. Potential chance of rain around 7. This game was actually supposed to start at 6, but the referees missed the memo. Sending it away is Welsh. Bob, it's time to party. 45 minutes and counting down for the first half of action between the Griffins and the Knights. Out of play, towards the near sideline, Jack Hoffman leaves it for Liam Hughes. Hughes to throw it in. The Knights going to be in the attacking third early. Mazzarelli fields it, sends it to Tynan towards the middle of the field. Tynan tries to get it inside. That's number 15, that's Welsh. Welsh tried to play some defense, can't quite come away with it. Now here come the Griffins the other way. Now coming in with a step, that's number 25, Peter Miles. Miles can't quite corral it, can't get a good shot off. A routine ground ball for Horn wearing number 1, and that's how we get started tonight.
A very hard run from Sarah Lawrence right off the rip here, so there's going to be a lot of contested long balls coming out from the green side on the left.
So Hughes gets caught on the foot of Kairos Diaz, stumbles, loses the ball, and it'll go the way of the Griffins. The Griffins have it on their own side of the field looking to set up some offense. You're right, Bob. Very fast-paced style from Sarah Lawrence to start tonight.
100%, and I do believe Sarah Lawrence is coming out here. They want a W. It's been a minute. Historically, Sarah Lawrence, sorry, I was making sure there wasn't anything huge coming up. Sarah Lawrence is not to jinx anything, but Sarah Lawrence is not great against the Mount historically. But 2 years ago, the last time Sarah Lawrence was here, they did win 2-0. 3-2, I apologize. But the last time these teams met last year, the Mount won 2-0. So Sarah Lawrence is definitely coming out looking for a W against the White.
Bevino takes the free kick, an impressive one downfield over the head of the intended target, TJ Mark. Bob, you were telling me before the broadcast, dating back to the last 10 contests between these two teams, the Knights are 9-1.
Yeah, 9-1 and a lot of chippy contests. I was looking around, and I was talking to some of the fellows before the game. There's been 12 yellow cards between the teams the last 2 contests, 7 and 5 in different games respectively. So definitely a chippy matchup anytime they square off on the pitch.
Hoffman and Gunderson collide. The referees will rule it'll go the way of the Knights. So certainly no love lost between these two teams, at least in the last 2 contests. We're only 2 minutes in. Very fast-paced style of play from both sides. We'll see if that keeps up. Mark can't quite corral it. Hoffman gives chase. Can't corral it either. Here's Allison with a step working against Asafe Tome. Here's Allison now, guarded by Gunderson. That's Miles. Miles working along the near sideline, try to get it back. There's Hughes, nice defensive effort. Knocks it out of play along the near sideline. It'll be a throw-in for Sarah Lawrence.
And a lot of aggressive play here to start again from the green. 2 large strikers, going to be a lot of pushing and shoving there on the attacking third.
Tome leaves it for Saul. Saul gets it to Braunschweig. Braunschweig gets it back. Tried to get it back to Saul. Has that one deflected. Hoffman giving chase. It goes all the way back downfield. Here's Diaz. Diaz for Jordy Donnelly just outside the midfield circle. The Griffins trying to work it upfield. Careful with the ball movement, but nothing coming to fruition yet. Out of play, Knights ball. Throwing it as Wallace. Tries to get it to his fellow freshman. That's Welsh. Hoffman gets a head on it. They collide. Here's Hoffman now with a step. Hoffman centering pass. It's corralled by Marsh. Mazzarelli leaves it. Mazzarelli got deflected off someone in front. It's wrapped up by Jonas Zalis. And that's the first shot on goal of the game for the Knights.
Fuvuzela on the sideline over here, I apologize. Very impressive start there from the Knights. I do love that effort from the senior forward, Hoffman, to be able to get that ball into the box. And just a little bit of a deflection, but a good rip from Mazzarelli to get us kicked off here.
Here's for Tynan for Keyser, all the way for Wallace along the far side of the field. Gets it for Mark, trying to cut inside. Takes a fortunate hop. Jonas Zalis wraps it up. Not too much pressure there. Looking for somebody open. We'll roll it for Eloy Pampin, a native of Seattle, Washington. Bob, you and I were talking about the broadcast. The Seattle Mariners clinching a playoff spot last night with a walk-off win.
Fire me up, baby.
Magic number for them is now 1.
Go M's.
So we're approaching, it's still the end of September, we're approaching October. I mean, October playoff baseball, beautiful weather. And you know, Bob, I mean, we always talk about it. It gets beautiful here this time of year.
It certainly does, and just a hint of humidity here, but nothing too crazy. About, I believe, a little bit below 70 and overcast right now, so can't really complain.
Tynan puts the moves on, tried to get a pass off to Mark, nobody home, Zales to roll it away. And the humidity tonight, no doubt, it's been a really weird weather day. It rained all of last night. It's supposed to rain tonight and through tomorrow, so we'll see if weather has any impact on the contest tonight. I know the game we did last week, we talked about how a wet turf can impact the ball, and I know you caught up with Noah Horn after the game with just how difficult it can be to play defense on a wet turf field.
Certainly, I can't use the expletives that he inserted into the sentence, but I do vividly remember him saying how much he hated wet turf, dealing with he called new ones, I believe. He meant balls, brand new soccer balls when they use them for game time. He does not like how they feel on his hands when they're wet.
Welsh and Wallace play ping pong, neither one able to corral it permanently. Now here's Sarah Lawrence trying to work the ball upfield. Very methodical passing, a lot of time spent in their own end for the Griffins. Nothing yet really forming offensively for them. Good defense there from Keyser on Tomey. Tomey now with the step, working it towards the far sideline. Can he keep it in bounds? Yes, he can. It's headed towards the end line. Wallace with a step. The referee blows the whistle. It'll go the way of the Knights.
A great possession from the White to be able to stick with that and get the ball back. I'd love to see that early on. 5 minutes into the half, I think definitely a lot of contested build-up play in the center here, just waiting for an explosion from either side.
That's usually how these things go. I mean, you get the sense, these conference games just mean more. I mean, obviously these games have playoff implications, but you can tell both sides really kick it up a notch playing against a conference opponent.
Most certainly, and I have just noticed that Sarah Lawrence has scored quite a few goals this year, but they've conceded almost as many if they scored, and vice versa. The Mount has conceded a lot less than they've scored, but they haven't scored as many as Sarah Lawrence, so there's definitely going to be a little bit of a chess match going on with possession.
So both teams fairly evenly matched, at least looking at the statistics. Both sides 3-2-3 headed into tonight.
Well, certainly, and Sarah Lawrence with no road wins yet, I don't believe, unless I'm completely incorrect.
Sarah Lawrence 1-2. Cumulatively, they're 1-2-1 on the road. They have not yet won a conference game on the road.
There we go. Okay, so for conference-wise, they have not won anything, but they have also only played one conference match, so only so much one can say.
Throw in coming for the Griffins. This is likely their best chance so far. Here's Bevavino, gets a head on it. Good defense there from the Knights. Welsh trying to play it off of bounds, getting a head on it is Ryan Gunderson. That ball's still in bounds. The white team trying to do something with it. Can't get it out. Now they can. Here's Hoffman with a step. Leaves it for Tynan. Tynan, that pass deflected. It'll find its way back to Hoffman. Hoffman just trying to get it out of the sea of green jerseys. Leaves it for Hughes. Hughes sends it upfield. Nobody home, but more importantly, it's out of harm's way. So the Knights, both sides just trying to find their footing on offense. It's still early, a little over 7 minutes into the contest, but no side has really broken through yet.
Some good build-up play so far from the Mount as we're getting a stoppage of the clock. Someone's shin guard has evaded their socks despite the excess of tape.
That's a cleat that came off, Bob. The
Even
loss of a shoe has stopped the clock. That's
even worse.
Number 22, Connor Saul, out of Los Angeles, California.
Oh, dear. Lost a shoe.
Playing soccer with one boot seems hardly a good idea.
Definitely not a good idea. Gives me reminiscent of, was it the 60s or 70s when kickers would kick field goals with no shoe on, just barefoot?
Yeah, it has to be the early days of football. Way back when.
Back when mailmen used to play football part-time.
Yeah. So whenever we get back ready to action, the Griffins poised to throw it in, doing the honors. Kairos Diaz. Diaz will leave it for Jordy Donnelly. Oh my goodness, Jordy Donnelly. Say that 5 times fast. He'll get that to his goalkeeper, and the Griffins will start from scratch. Oh, nearly intercepted by Hoffman there. The Griffins loose passing, caught a break there.
That could have been really, really poor for the Griffins if they're not careful here.
Now here's Hughes on the interception, waltzes it in, gets it to Mazzarelli with a step. Mark abandoned ship. Mazzarelli now just outside the box, sends that one towards the middle. It's loose in front. Collides off somebody in green, and it'll head towards the near sideline. Impressive effort there from Saul to keep it in play. I thought they kept it in play. The whistle comes late. It'll be out of bounds. Knights ball.
And a very good start there from the Knights. A great service into the box by Mazzarelli. Just can't find a head or a foot, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that coming up soon.
Hughes on the throw-in. Mazzarelli can't come down with it. It'll be a push the other way for Sarah Lawrence. Never mind. Sam Bevavino takes Sarah Lawrence's lunch money, tries to get it to Mark, ends up out of play along the near sideline, and the Griffins will try again. Sarah Lawrence, the ball movement just is not there for the Griffins right now.
Certainly not a lot of productive hold-up play and a lot of long balls being thrown over the top. They're just trying to let their forwards go to work as much as they can.
Tomey guarded tightly by Allison and Keyser. Allison will come away with the ball, working it along the far sideline, leaves it for Welsh. Welsh gets it to Hoffman. Hoffman back to Welsh. Upfield, that one blocked by a Griffin. Welsh corrals it right around the midfield line, tries to get around, can't. That ball rifled into the fence, out of bounds. It'll go the way of the Knights.
Some great build-up play early on from the Knights. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here, even though they are very far away, but can certainly see some inklings of some wonderful vision.
The seeds of success have been planted. The Knights on the throw-in. No fireworks yet, no highlight reel plays, obviously. I mean, not every play is going to be a highlight, but the Knights, one thing they have done is it feels they've completely dominated the time of possession.
I would agree 100%, and it seems to be we're getting in the first 10 minutes here. Feeling out stage is slowly wearing away, and I think something big is going to happen soon.
That throw-in picked off, sending it away. Leon Branchvog wearing the captain's band. Horn now collides with a Griffin. That's number 25, Peter Miles. The two collide. The Knights come away with the ball. It'll be out of bounds. The coach tried to get it to a Griffin. The Griffin's just trying to keep the up-tempo. The throw-in intended for Tomey, guarded tightly by Bevavino. Bevavino along the near sideline leaves it for Mark. Mark to Mazzarelli. That pass deflected. Branchvog playing tight defense. Keyser calls for the ball, and the Knights will push the other way. So Peter Miles, we mentioned him wearing the captain's band tonight out of New York for Sarah Lawrence. But one thing I noticed, Peter Miles, that's the first name of the two most famous Spider-Men. Hard slide tackle.
Folded him in half there. Jeez Louise. He's going to be lucky if he gets away with no card here.
Leading his case, that's number 2, Benjamin Berkson. No card yet, but certainly getting a stern talking to.
The Orange lays the walls. The Mount are going to have a dangerous free kick from about, I think, 40 yards out.
TJ Mark doing the honors.
More or less a hard hit throw-in we're going to get here. So curling ball is probably going to be landing in the penalty spot, dead center of the box.
A couple of Knights streaking towards the net. The pass away. Bevavino gets a head on it. That one corralled just to the right of the net, wrapped up by Zales. Solid play design from the Mount there. The Griffins having a hard time just getting out of the goalie box. Sending it downfield to Zales, but there's nobody home. The Knights are able to come away with it, at least cause some problems. As here's Welsh able to come away with the ball. He'll leave it for Tynan. Tynan for Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli moving into the attacking third. Mazzarelli can't get around the defender. Solid defensive effort there. Sends it towards the Knights side of the field. Intended for Tomey. Can't corral it. Now here's Miles. Miles for Branchvog. The two captains on the field at the moment for the Griffins.
An intriguing mention from the goalie box there, Lucas. There's a little bit of pregame research from your color man. I've noticed that the Griffins have had 4 different goalkeepers play minutes for them this year. That's a lot of goalkeepers. Not a lot of teams carry that many tenders on the roster.
Interesting.
And between all 4 guys, they've averaged 2 goals against per game, which is not exactly what you want out of your netminders.
I mean, that's probably why they've seen 4 different goalkeepers. I mean, if you're letting up 2 goals a contest per average, I mean, it's worth it just to cycle your options, see what you have.
And of course, Zales, 450 minutes, has played the most minutes out of the 4 horsemen of the backfield of the Griffins.
Diaz for Berkson, also a captain, making that 3 on the field for Sarah Lawrence. Kick for the far sideline, trying to get ahead on it as well. She can't, but he's able to come away with the ball anyway. Working it up the far sideline now. Welsh with a step, waiting for some of his teammates in white to catch up. Leaves it for Tynan. Tynan for Mazzarelli along the far sideline up near the scorer's booth. Mazzarelli, nice crossfield pass. Here's Hughes. Hughes will have to play it off a bounce. Gets it off his head. Does so successfully. Mark corrals it. Gets it to Keyser. Keyser guarded tightly by Diaz. Now here's Mark, guarded by Saul. Mark puts the moves on. Leaves it for Keyser along the near sideline. Sends that one towards the middle. There's nobody home. Hoffman got in the grill. Unfortunately can't block the pass. Ends up out of play. But it'll still go the way of the Knights. So it feels like Sarah Lawrence has been on their heels most of the game, but for the most part, the defense has been quite good.
It definitely seems like the defense is trying to bend and not break, and I'm seeing hints of a kick and rush, and I'm seeing hints of a very fast-paced counterattack from Sarah Lawrence as a very heavy tackle comes through again.
A sliding tackle there
Oh
from
my
Leon
God.
Braunschweig. The referee in orange not pleased.
Attempted assault here we've seen right in the middle of the field by green jersey. See, Orangeman is going to give another stern talking to, and the Mount is going to be given another free kick.
So another slap on the wrist for the Griffins. Keyser to take the free kick here for the Mount.
And again, Mount, a pretty decent side off of free kicks. Probably going to be seeing a deep curling ball towards the back post here. Going to be trying to find a foot to tap one home, if I were to take a guess.
Another free kick now for the Knights. Keyser gets the whistle, sends it away. Sea of white in front of the net. Hoffman leaps for it, can't get it.
Oh.
A flag here. That'll be, I believe, an offside.
Seems to be someone was not in the position they were meant to be in. Not the greatest thing to be seeing free kicks be given away like that, but so be it.
So the Knights get punished, sending it away. Benjamin Berkson, it'll go the way of the Griffins. Sarah Lawrence, 31-19 to play here in the first half. The Griffins really, again, haven't been able to get the ball rolling on offense just yet.
Definitely not, but they're not a team to completely put away at any point of the match, because I've noticed that they've scored 16 on the year. They've scored 8 in the first and 8 in the second halves, respectfully. So at any point in the match, they can go find themselves the back of the net.
Of course, I mean, there's still plenty of time left in the contest. Your score is still 0-0. The Knights working with it in their own end. Here's Mazzarelli, gets it to Tynan. Now that's Welsh. Welsh up along the far sideline. That one ends up out of play into the seats. Souvenir throw-in coming for Welsh.
A cheeky wing play there by Welsh. Definitely seeing a tendency for the Mount to be playing it up that right-hand channel so frequently.
Welsh leaves it for Wallace. Just two standout freshmen from Mount St. Mary. We were dubbed at the youth movement last game, and the Knights have rolled out 3 freshmen in the starting 11 tonight. Welsh, Wallace, and TJ Mark.
Daycare is back in action, and they're making a whole lot of noise here through the first 15 minutes, so we might see some fireworks coming soon.
Leaping effort there from Wallace. Tynan able to corral it. Can the Knights turn this into some offense? Leaves it for Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli operating just outside the midfield circle. Here's Keyser now with room to work. Keyser gets it on the Griffin side of midfield. Here's Hughes. Hughes gets it back towards the Knights side, guarded tightly by a man in green. Bevavino now with a step gets hit. No whistle. Collision now. Mazzarelli, good defense there on Braunschweig. Braunschweig intended for Gunderson. That pass picked off. Here's Tynan. Tynan gets it out of harm's way. Now here's Wallace. So an impressive defensive stand there from Mount St. Mary.
Very good to see them keep their form even with a little bit of faltering coming in through.
Wallace, a low-line drive intended for Hoffman. Hit a Griffin somewhere in the upper body. There's a whistle, and it'll be a free kick for Sarah Lawrence.
Definitely a lot of pushing and shoving we're seeing here early on as we're ticking through towards the halfway point of this first half. So things are definitely starting to boil up a little bit between both sides.
That pass picked off by Mazzarelli. Gets it in pass inside. Here's Mark with a step. Zales wraps it up and falls on it. Ball gets out of harm's way. So no cards yet. You had mentioned 12 in the last 2 contests for both sides. No cards yet, but a couple slide tackles from the Griffins, a couple of talking to. So the seeds have been planted for a physical matchup. We're not quite at that point, I'd say, but we can definitely end up there.
I would definitely agree, and you don't see a lot of teams come in unbelievably angry, and it's never a good look to be getting cards off rip, so I would assume as the game goes on that it will get a little bit more chippier.
Keyser and Bevavino working it out of the backfield for the Knights. The Knights' defensive core, Hughes and Bevavino, their names come up very often. Mazzarelli now gets it back to Hughes. The Knights operating closer to the near sideline. Back towards the middle of the field, it's Tynan. Tynan, good pass for Mark. Mark, good spin move, able to get around Jordy Donnelly. That pass taken right back. Sarah Lawrence. And now here's Peter Miles, offside, Knights ball.
You're definitely seeing a high line from the offensive third from Sarah Lawrence. They're definitely pushing it as much as they can to try and get their forwards in as fast as possible behind the defensive line of the Mount.
So Hughes to take the free kick. 28 minutes and counting down. Your score still 0-0. One shot on goal for the Mount St. Mary Knights so far tonight. That is your only offensive statistic. As wearing that off his head is Jordy Donnelly, and they'll go untouched out of bounds. Knights ball. Hughes leaves it for Mazzarelli, right along the near sideline, right in front of us here in the broadcast booth. Hughes, almost exactly on the midfield line, gets it for Keyser. Keyser operating out of the midfield circle, gets it to Tynan. Tynan works it towards the far sideline. Spins, redirects, heads back towards the middle of the field. Good cross-field pass. Mazzarelli stumbles. We hope he's all right. And no, Hughes again sends that one towards the middle. That one just wide out of the reach of Knights. Still loose in front. Zales leaping effort. Ball knocked out. Zales appears shaken up. The referee calls for a stoppage of the clock, and we hope the goalkeeper's all right.
Very hard collision there. Keeper on the floor. Seems to be.
So the pass from Hughes just out of reach of the intended target. It hit a Griffin in front, went straight up, and Zales and Hoffman both made a leaping effort for the ball. And Zales goes down hard, still down. Getting a helping hand up from his teammates now with a serious limp.
And Hoffman, definitely not a light fellow, came in very hard to that collision there. That never feels good when you're fully extended trying to grab a ball and the forward lets it eat straight into your cervix.
So Zales up and moving. Taking a minute to himself. We hope he's okay. 27-13 to play here in the first half.
Looks to be play will resume here.
So Zales shaken up, but able to remain in the game, thankfully enough. Benjamin Burke's in to do the free kicking again for Sarah Lawrence.
And we will resume action. 27 minutes and counting down as the ball is punted away.
Bergson sends it away. Mazzarelli guarding Braunschweig. The Knights able to come away with that. Hughes plays it off a bounce, corrals it, gets it for Hoffman. Hoffman, light first touch, and good effort there for Mazzarelli. Still loose. Bergson leaves it for the goalkeeper. Welsh puts the pressure on. Zales able to send it away. There's Wallace guarded by Tomey. Him and Tomey collide. They collide a second time, and the second man always gets caught. The referee then blows the whistle. So Wallace and Tomey collide. The referee says play on. They collide a second time, and the referee decides enough is enough.
Of course, you always look for that retaliation. You see a hard bump or anything of the sort, and whoever was contacted first, of course, if they try and get back at whoever gave him a nudge, you never want that to happen, so you got to put an end to that.
The quest for revenge was not unwarranted, but ultimately the second guy is usually the one who gets caught. So free kick for Sarah Lawrence. They just elect to set a play up in opposition of just putting something on the net. So some chip action here, and we'll see if the Griffins can get some offense going for the first time tonight. Saul has some trouble with the pass, can't quite corral it, able to keep it in play, but it falls into the possession of the Knights. Good effort there from Hughes to corral it. Now here's Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli up along the far sideline. It's Wallace. Wallace sends it back for Allison. Allison plays it off a deflection, and he'll just leave it for Horn. Horn gets it back to Allison. Coming in to investigate, that's Peter Miles. The Knights turn it over. Now here's Tomey. Tomey with a little bit of room to work. Guarded now by Allison. Tomey can't get around him. Forced to pivot, overruns the ball, and Allison's able to take it away. Allison, good defense there. That one ends up out of play. Out near the tennis courts, or the right tennis courts, considering there's two sets of them. Ends up out of play. Now a throw in for Mount St. Mary. 25 minutes left in the contest, and Bob, so far this game has just felt like a chess match. I mean, one shot on goal is the only offensive statistic. For the most part, these teams are just fighting and fighting and fighting, and right now with nothing to show for it.
It truly has, and sometimes soccer matches do turn into trench wars, and it really seems like there's just a war for every little bit of turf up the field here, and it seems to be the midfield has just been tightly contested every time the neon ball gets rolled in.
So 20 minutes in the contest, and Bob, tonight does feel like it's going to shape into a trench war. I mean, both sides, so far, just doing anything they can to try and move the needle.
Of course, you're going to see a lot of hard-driven low passes sticking on the ground, and if it starts raining here soon, it's definitely going to get messy as we move into the 20-minute mark of the first half.
Some angry-looking clouds on the horizon. It's been overcast all day, but has yet to rain. Good effort there from Miles to corral it. Now Keyser gives it chase along the far sideline. Peter Miles, again sporting the first names of the two most famous Spider-Men, Peter Miles.
Morales and Peter Parker.
Throw in now for the Griffins. And an immediate whistle to go the way of the Knights. So the referees saw something they didn't like, quickly blow the play dead.
This might be a remarkable take, but while we're in a lull here, I think Miles Morales is an intrinsically more intriguing Spider-Man than Peter Parker is.
Well, because he can do so much more stuff. I mean, you give me an invisible Spider-Man who also uses electricity, I'm taking that guy 10 times out of 10.
I mean, on top of just the powers, just his story itself is just so intriguing, and the actual movies themselves are just so impactful to the soul.
Into the Spider-Verse movies. I raise you the Sam Raimi trilogy. At least the first two. Now here's loose in front. Horn with a diving effort, and he's able to corral it.
Whoa. Very, very hard challenge.
An immediate stoppage of the clock from the ref and a shoving match now. You don't push the goalkeeper. Bevavino standing up for Horn. Taking the yellow card, that'll be number 25, Peter Miles. So, impassioned speech from the Sarah Lawrence coach here on the sideline. So for Peter,
Evan Brandsdorfer from Temple University, having lots of words from his side of the technical area.
And so for Peter, he has yet to be informed that with great power comes great responsibility. He'll wear the yellow card. The first one of the night. And Bob, I mean, we're 22 minutes into the first half now, and the seeds for a chippy contest are planted and growing.
Almost certainly, and conference is always chippy. I mean, just from baseball season last year, every conference matchup just means a little more. And we've already got inklings of a really aggressive matchup, and words coming out from Sarah Lawrence's sideline, not too great in terms of wanting a peaceful affair.
Another lull in play. Bevavino and Peter Miles going at it. Lots of finger pointing. And while we're Vuvuzela.
My favorite.
And while we're still in a bit of a lull, I want to raise you the Sam Raimi trilogy, or at least the first two movies, with Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. The Vuvuzela clearly agrees with me. Fans on both sides, literally and figuratively.
And why am I forgetting the actor from that movie? Who's the Spider-Man movies? Tobey
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Guys, no horn. It's the same as ours, whoever's doing that.
So the Vuvuzela banished as quickly as it came about.
That is a shame.
Makes sense. This is another physical collision. Keyser and Miles collide. Miles falls. The Sarah Lawrence sideline certainly fired up. Of course, led by the
that's a great ball.
sixth-year coach out of Temple.
Ooh.
An impressive effort there from Bergson. Picks Welsh's pocket. And Bergson will send that across the street behind us. That's headed for the apartment complex. That play quickly whistled dead. And Jonah Zallis once again on the ground. Remember, he was shaken up just a couple minutes ago. The referee calls for the trainer. Evan Brandsdorfer out of Temple calls for the ref. So we will step aside as these two separate issues get resolved. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're here to resume the broadcast. Jonah Zales has left the game via the medical cart. He's getting looked at the trainer's table. We hope everything is okay with him. In lieu of Zales, the Griffins will call upon Elijah Shohat, a senior from Brooklyn, New York. Bob, you had mentioned the four-man goalie tandem, or at least four different goalies have made appearances this year for Sarah Lawrence. Zales, far and away, was the goalkeeper one. Shohat now had the second most minutes.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. Only 168 minutes from the senior. A .750 save percentage, which is not bad at all. So we'll have to see how he steps up in this situation here. And a little bit of a hostile game on the road.
So 168 minutes, that's nothing to sneeze at. It's, well, and so Shohat has been in this spot before. But Zales played north of 450 minutes. So we'll see if Sarah Lawrence is able to survive the keeper change. Your score is still 0-0. And again, still not much offense from both sides.
Most certainly not. And I did hear a little bit of a direction from Coach Longacre on the right from the mount to saying to his guys, keep your heads. And a game that starts getting chippy like this where coaches are complaining, not to yell that out loud while the coach is pacing around, but while coaches are not happy and both teams are getting a little bit antsy, you definitely do not want to get dragged into being foul-ridden, and when you get too aggressive and all things go out the window, that is the worst-case scenario.
Horn will leave it for Bevavino. And as you were saying, the chippiness of the game has gone up exponentially within the last 5 minutes. I mean, we were talking about how there's some physical contact, some stoppages, but now there's a yellow card. Like, things have escalated very fast.
Certainly, and you do not want to get dragged in whatsoever to letting that get into your head, because when you start playing away from your game plan, you start getting too chippy, then things are going to go way down south and all bets will be off.
As is usually a gentleman's agreement in sports with goalkeepers, the usual consensus is to not touch the goalkeeper. Both goalkeepers have suffered collisions. Both keepers have been fine, and I'd like to think the collisions aren't intentional, but there's certainly bad blood out between the Griffins and the Knights.
Most certainly. I mean, I would say there is some argument for a little bit of malicious intent from either side, because Hoffman did come in with a very, very hard challenge where he put a shoulder straight into the chest of Zales, and I do not believe I remember who came in with a studs-up tackle towards Horn, but that is definitely a very quick way to get into some cahoots with the opposing team.
Hoffman has his pocket picked by Tomey. Tomey leaves it for Braunschweig. Braunschweig for Saul now. Saul with the step. Hughes and Welsh quickly close in. Hughes gets it out of play off the face of Connor Saul. The referee will come in to check on him. The referee calls for the stoppage of the clock.
Motion for a trainer again.
And in what has already been a physical game, just a stroke of bad luck. Another stroke of bad luck for Sarah Lawrence as Saul wears that pass off the face. Saul, a junior from Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles and the Los Angeles area are actually pretty well represented for.
I'm sorry?
I just said Los Angeles and the Los Angeles area are pretty well represented on Sarah Lawrence.
Certainly. No, I apologize. I was just intrigued by this conversation that Sarah Lawrence's coach was having. He yelled to the referee for a substitute, and the referee made a notion at him, and he just simply said, "I'm going to do it anyways." And he turned to the scoring table and started telling them the substitution, which for those who don't know, that's not what you're supposed to do. So I just found that kind of funny. I apologize. But a lot of overall people from everywhere. I apologize. Yes, a lot of representation from every state here on the Sarah Lawrence roster.
It's been an interesting game so far, Bob. That pass for Horn, Allison, that pass gets a little sloppy. Intended for Horn, just goes out behind the end line, untouched. So it'll be a corner kick for Sarah Lawrence, and the Knights just shooting themselves in the foot right there.
That's definitely not a good corner kick you want to give away here. First corner kick of the game for Sarah Lawrence. We'll have to see what they come up with here.
First corner kick of the game for either side.
You're right. I apologize.
So in a game where offense has not been the focal point, you don't want to give away any opportunities, and unfortunately, that's just what the Knights have done.
With a lot of big bodies here, you're probably going to see a lot of runs into the back post.
Braunschweig on the corner kick. It's a low-line drive. Hits a sea of bodies in front. Karam's straight up. It's now outside of the goalie box. Now here's Allison with a sprint. It's Keyser now fielding it. Hoffman guarding Tomey tightly. Say that 5 times fast. Ends up
Impressive.
out of play along the far sideline. And a whistle and a substitute now. So Brandsdorfer wasn't kidding when he said he was going to do it anyway. Coming on now is number 9, Aiden Roney. Coming off, number 19, Trent Paleka. So a whistle and a stoppage. It'll be a throw in. No, it'll be a free kick for Sarah Lawrence right in front of the sideline. Doing the honors is Leon Braunschweig.
Off the right foot, he's probably going to hammer in a curling ball to the back post here. So there's going to be a lot of bodies jumping up in the air for this neon sphere on its way in.
That Braunschweig leaves that one perhaps a little too low to the ground. It takes a couple of bounces. Welsh now giving effort. He can't keep that one in play. And another mistake for Mount St. Mary and another throw in for Sarah Lawrence. So after a slow offensive start to the contest, it's been a corner kick, a free kick, and a throw in, all from the attacking third within the span of 2 minutes.
Sarah Lawrence is definitely hitting the gas pedal here, and I think the Knights need to get this ball out and take a deep breath because a lot of mistakes are trying to mount up, and that's going to eventually lead to a goal.
And Sarah Lawrence certainly does have their foot on the gas pedal, but they've been assisted mostly by the Knights. A couple of bad turnovers. Mount St. Mary fortunate that nothing has come of it so far, as Tomey and Wallace both leap for it. The Griffins able to come down with it. Poked away by Wallace. Now here's Welsh with speed up along the far sideline. Sends that one well up the far sideline, looking for Hoffman. Nobody home. Bergson just lets it go all the way out past the end line, untouched. Coming back into the game, Connor Saul. Coming on for the Mount, number 5, J.C. Gutierrez, and number 13, Alex Napoli. So now Napoli checked into the contest. The youth movement in full effect for the Mount.
The daycare definitely in full swing here. We'll have to see what these young legs can do for the White.
So I mean, the last game we did, it was a week ago to the day. Last Wednesday we commentated the game between the Mount and I believe it was John Jay. It was John Jay. I was correct, my intuition. And the four freshmen were marquee the whole night.
100%. They featured 6 different freshmen last week, and Coach Longacre, I remember speaking to him, he said it wasn't exactly in the game plan, but they have been giving guys opportunities for showing up in training and having good performances day to day.
That pass caroms off Keyser. It's still loose in front. The Knights have to get it out. Getting a foot on it is Tynan. Bounces around a couple of times. And ultimately, Bob, I mean, at least in a head coach's eyes, I mean, grade doesn't matter. You want to put the guys that are going to help you win out on the field.
Of course, that next man up mentality always helps when you don't have too much of a bias about how old a guy is, because if he's playing up to the level you need to be playing, might as well play him.
Of course. You need men who are going to rise to the occasion. 15.5 minutes and counting down. Both sides just feeling out the situation. I would say trading punches, but admittedly it hasn't been that exciting.
Certainly not. Some dangerous opportunities from both sides, but no cake and cookies just yet. So still in the oven as the ingredients are baking.
So a full half hour into the contest and still a defensive purist's dreams as that one caroms out of bounds. It will be Griffin's ball. On the throw in for the Griffins, Kairos Diaz. That's Saul who throws it in to Braunschweig. It doesn't help that it's dark outside and there's also incredibly cloudy. Visibility is pretty low, and I have bad enough eyes as is.
Don't we both?
Yeah, you're the one in glasses, and yeah, I mean, bad vision in the broadcast booth. Now here's Hughes, leaves it for Gutierrez. Gutierrez fresh into the game, hoping he can provide some offensive spark for the Mount St. Mary Knights. An impressive highlight reel Gutierrez has.
Oh, Mr. Olympico himself. Did see that a few weeks ago. He's definitely got a bag of tricks when it comes to the midfield, so we'll have to be looking out for him on the near side here, right in front of the tents. So
the Knights operating out of their own end. No hurry to get the ball out, but no contention from Sarah Lawrence either. Now here's Gutierrez with a step, leaves it for Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli just tries to get out of harm's way, has that pass deflected. Keyser gets a foot on it, caroms off Miles. Mazzarelli able to come down with it, gets it for Tynan now. Tynan with a little bit of room to work. He'll flick it towards the far sideline. That one picked off by Bergson. That one picked off by Mazzarelli. It's no man's land. Now here's Tynan with a step. Tynan gets a jump fake. Tynan working just outside the box. Leaves it for Napoli. That shot blocked in front. Bergson rifles that one towards the tennis courts. Out of play into the seats. It'll be a throw in for the Mount.
Very dangerous opportunity for the Mount. Tynan making a phenomenal run. Just couldn't get the shot right. The follow through gets deflected here, so we'll do it all over again.
Throw in from Wallace takes a bounce, bodied up by Mark. The Knights have it in their possession, just trying to set up any sort of offense. Now here's Keyser, gets it to Hughes. Hughes operating it about 10 yards away from the corner of the box. Keyser works it back towards midfield, guarded tightly by Eloy Pampin. And Pampin forces Keyser to get it all the way back to Horn. Horn leaves it for Bevavino, and the Knights are going to have to bake a cake from scratch.
Some aggressive hold-up play here as Bevavino is being pressed hard in his own back line to keep that ball away from the fangs of green.
So what started out as a bend but don't break defense for Sarah Lawrence has certainly escalated in terms of aggression. A lot more pressing as Hughes sends that one towards the middle. Nobody home on the centering pass. Napoli works with it around the end line. Here's Luce now taking a shot. Is Keyser, that one just high. High and off to the left, but that's the best opportunity the Knights have had on offense for some time.
It's phenomenal disguised run from Hughes on the left-sided channel to be able to curl that in, hit it a little far, bounce for Keyser. Keyser just underhit it just a tad bit, or got under it just a tad bit, overhit it just a little bit more, and it's going to harmlessly fall over the bar.
Henry Sees comes into the contest for Sarah Lawrence. He comes on in relief of Ryan Gunderson. Now here's the Knights. Allison now works it towards the midfield circle, leaves it all the way back for Horn. And so the Knights have had a couple of all right opportunities, but for the most part, the Griffins' defense has been the highlight, I'd say.
I would say there's been some minor insecurity from the defensive side, but they've definitely done a great job at clearing what they need to clear.
Well, exactly. I mean, you can. Obviously you can nitpick stuff if you want to, but I mean, as of right now, both sides are pitching a shutout. So we will see. Again, this game so far, a defensive purist dreams.
It's not a darn good day at the factory when you're making donuts.
Exactly. Now here's Gutierrez, gets a pass from Mazzarelli. Here's Hughes working on the end sideline. So the Knights have one shot on goal, but no corner kicks. And the Griffins have one corner kick, but no shots on goal.
Definitely a slow building game, despite the fact that it has been getting quite chippy here.
But the physicality of it, Bob, we'll see, because that now pass ahead. There's Keyser. Keyser gets it to Gutierrez. The pass intended for Peter Miles. Would have been an all right chance there for Sarah Lawrence. The pass for Miles just well behind him.
Yeah, certainly. He's there just with one defender on his left shoulder. Really just had to play that ball towards his strong foot on the right. Just got hit incorrectly, and Keyser's just there to be able to harmlessly push it away.
Gutierrez tries to rifle that across the field, quickly picked off. The Griffins, that push stopped dead in their tracks. Now here's TJ Mark, the only Knight in the area, steps on the ball, loses control of the ball. Now here's Benjamin Bergson with a step. Now here's Seas fresh into the game. Picked up by Napoli. Good pass there. Gets it inside. Rifles it right at Horn. Knocks it down.
Small round of applause there. Wow.
Morris Monaco Collins from London, England, with an impressive shot on net just right at Horn. And it stays 0-0. First shot on goal of the contest for the Griffins. And, Bob, that one was pretty impressive.
That was definitely a blistered shot there, which is a side-winding spin to it. But Horn there to meet the challenge, just slap it down in front of him, harmlessly away for a clean sheet still.
So the Griffins finally break through for that first shot on net. We're in single-digit minutes to play now, 9.5 and counting down. Here's Saul with a step, guarded by Gutierrez. Rifles that one towards the middle of the field. Good lunging effort there from Bevavino. Mazzarelli, the Griffins not playing any defense yet, so the Knights will just set something up. Allison now. Allison for Bevavino. Bevavino for Keyser. He has Hughes along the near sideline. He'll get it to him. Hughes waltzes it upfield, gets it to Gutierrez, who leaves it back for Mazzarelli. Tried to get it to Tynan. Mark falls. No whistle. That pass picked off. Here's Tynan again. Battle the number 23s. That one won by Diaz. Diaz rifles that one off of Hughes and out of play. So that shot on goal, Sarah Lawrence, they started the game fast, and they're moving now with even more pep in their step.
Yeah, certainly. You're hearing a lot of oohs and ahs coming from the green side of the field here. They're definitely getting fired up, getting late into this half. Mount are going to have to play a little bit of firefighter here to put out a fire if it gets started.
So the Mount, I mean, still nothing. And again, you can't nitpick anything too seriously, but the last couple of minutes, or at least ever since the shot on goal, the Knights have kind of been playing on their heels.
It certainly seems that way, though. The Knights are trying to push back just a bit.
Now here's Napoli with a step, impressive effort. That ball quickly cleared by Sarah Lawrence. As Diaz sends that one straight up. Keys are able to body it up, but quickly picked up by Seas. Seas playing defense. Keys are still with the ball. Tried to get it to Gutierrez. Lunging effort. Ball sneaks just past him. And
Quick
Bob,
restart from the Sarah Lawrence here, sorry.
And Bob, a couple of low-quality turnovers from the Knights.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be they're getting in their heads a little bit too much here. They're overhitting passes. They're underhitting passes. They're losing balls in the open field. You just can't be doing that in a match like this where you're playing such a contested contest.
So as of right now, still nothing, but in a game that's 0-0 and where nobody has really had any solid opportunities, you can't afford to be giving anything away. Now there's an impressive kick from Bevavino upfield. There's Mazzarelli. He corrals it. Diving effort from Shohat. I don't think there was a threat to begin with, but Shohat made sure there wouldn't be a threat at all.
Great ball there. Mazzarelli almost brought it down for that left-footed shot. Just couldn't quite keep it in front of him. Very good play by the backup goalkeeper from Brooklyn.
7:11 to play and counting down. An impressive defensive effort from both sides. Your score still 0-0. And Bob, if nothing else, we're poised for a great second half.
Most certainly everyone will get a breather here. Hopefully weather clears up a tad bit. Air will be a little bit less thick, and we'll get even more cardio and even more action as we'll flip the sides here in 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
So as for the weather report, still incredibly cloudy, as I'm sure you can all tell on the broadcast, but no rain yet. That one picked off by Miles. That's Diaz. Gets it to Braunschweig. That's Miles. Gets it all the way across the field. That's Aiden Roney. Nobody steps on Roney. Roney will send it all the way back across the field. Here's Diaz. The Griffins operating deep out of their own end. Alvarado goes in to check on him. So the Knights are in the area, but no pressing defense, and so Sarah Lawrence is taking their time getting rid of the ball. That one sent downfield. Goes off the head of Chase Bolden. Still loose. Miles kicks Keyser unintentionally. Miles pleads his case. The referee having none of it. Free kick for the Mount.
And coming these last 5 minutes here, I think the Mounts need to take a breather and slow down a little bit. It never hurts to appreciate the cars going by. It never hurts to get a goal late, but you also never want to concede a goal late, so they really have to be careful here in this chess match not to accidentally give away mate.
And Bob, you've alluded to this, but you can tell the physicality of the contest so far has definitely tested the level-headedness of both sides. You can tell both teams playing a little bit angrier now, but again, you have to make sure that you're not seeing red, and you don't want that to lead to a mistake.
I'd agree, and it seems to be Sarah Lawrence is more comfortable playing this aggressive style to keep chasing after loose balls, and I don't think the Mount is. There's a great ball played in here.
So the Griffins have spent a lot of time rattling the cage. Mazzarelli set up, diving, save from Shohat.
Oh, wow. I definitely peeked the mic there. Sorry to the viewers back home. Wow. That was a hard hit ball. Sidewinding to this back of the net there. Unbelievable save.
Mazzarelli blisters one towards the right post. Shohat, impressive diving effort. And for those of you who joined late, Elijah Shohat, the second-string goalkeeper. Jonah Zales went down earlier in the contest with an injury. But both keepers for Sarah Lawrence have played extremely well. Gutierrez sends that one towards the middle. Allison, leaping effort, can't get a head on it. Out of play, out behind the end line. The referees rule it Griffin's ball.
Damn, he was up there.
But
like Air Jordan.
But an impressive vertical from Dale Allison.
That would have been an unbelievable goal to bag at the end of the half here, but hypotheticals are hypotheticals as we'll resume play.
Braunschweig guarded by Mazzarelli. Both captains. Braunschweig now. The Knights pressing now to ensure Sarah Lawrence doesn't take any more precious time off the clock. 4 minutes and counting down. So plenty of time, but the first half winding well down.
Some great build-up play coming out from the Mount as it gets snagged away in the midfield.
Good poke check there from Sarah Lawrence. Keys are able to corral it just outside the midfield circle. We'll see if either side has something in their bag of tricks for the last 3:45. There's Bevavino, gets it to Hughes. Hughes with speed gets it to Gutierrez. Gutierrez gets it to Tynan. Tynan working it towards the middle of the field. He gets it towards the box. Rifles a low-line drive. That one never left the ground, it seems like. Easy save for Shohat.
Saw the opening, just didn't get the placement right. Hard hit ball. Never hurts to hit one off the turf when it might be a little bit slick out. Can't be mad about that.
So Tynan goes and knocks on the door. Shohat has none of it. 3:11 and counting down. So, Bob, if you're the head coach for each side, it's 0-0. And for the most part, either side has done a lot of rattling the cage, but not a lot of scoring. Now it's loose in front. Horn falls on it. Ooh. Peter Miles, he's been everywhere. Checks on Noah Horn, forces a disruption. And so, Bob, as I was saying, if you're either head coach, an impressive defensive effort, but not really any offense, what are you drawing up going into the second half?
I think it's just keeping level head and trying to press the issue as much as you can. I mean, it sounds really dumb, but the Mountain's doing very well at finding spots that green jerseys aren't, and that sounds very straightforward, but you do have to keep yourself not so unbelievably ambitious to be sending the ball into poor spots when you're passing it around so much in the midfield.
Tynan with a great effort just to hang on to the ball. His Keyser will leave it all the way back for Horn. Horn for Bevavino. Bevavino back to Horn. Horn a little further up the sideline, it's Hughes. Hughes plays that one off of bounds, deflects it for Gutierrez. Gutierrez loses the ball. Braunschweig now working with it for Sarah Lawrence. That pass intended for Dylan Pivoy, just behind Pivoy. Wallace collides with Braunschweig. And Bob, I will not lie to you, the Knights may have caught a break there.
A little bit of obstruction called, I think. I mean, it looked like there was about to be a sandwich made in front of us here. That was some dangerous play, so I think the referees did actually get that one just a little bit right.
That's why you're the color guy, Bob. Your knowledge is greatly appreciated.
Of course, and I mean, it's something you see at the high school level a lot more just because you'll see a lot more stray boots getting out and about.
Bevavino, a missile from midfield, intended for Mazzarelli. Good defensive effort there from Sarah Lawrence. Wears it off the head. Now with Miles, it's with speed. Miles shoves Allison, no whistle. It's a one-on-one. It was knocked down by Horn. Still loose in front. Miles off the side of the net. He missed it.
Wow. That was a cookie. I can't believe he missed that. That's unbelievable. An unbelievable save from Horn right up front.
Noah Horn stands his ground, and we remain scoreless. Under a minute to play.
Horn with an unbelievable save after a pretty blatant shove from Miles. Mount does not get the call, and Horn says, no more of that. Go home.
Allison gets shoved. Horn left to fend for himself, and he does it. An impressive defensive stand. 30 seconds to play. Zip, zip.
Definitely just have to keep your form. You cannot give away anything dumb here in these last 30 seconds. Got to be extremely careful.
Deep downfield. Bevavino gets a head on it. That one ends up just to the right of the net. 20 seconds to play. Horn for the goal kick. And if you're Peter Miles, you have been everywhere during the game. With the exception of the yellow card, he's played quite well. But you know he wants to have that one back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is just a rough one to not get, and you're never going to get a chance that good again. So he's going to have to just move on from it and try and rebuild something new.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, your score at the end of the first half, the Knights 0, the Griffins 0. But don't be fooled, Bob. This is one of the more exciting 0-0 games you'll ever see.
A lot of action here. A little bit of fireworks to hopefully be displayed. The mortars have been set up, just waiting for the lighters to get pulled out. So hopefully these next 45 minutes will be a lot of fast-paced, goal-scoring, high-flying action.
Action everywhere but the back of the net so far. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half of action here tonight. I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me is Bob Hauk. We'll be back with you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaplan Field. It is a cloudy Wednesday night Skyline Conference matchup between the Mount St. Mary Knights and the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. Your score at the half, the Knights nothing, the Griffins nothing. But don't be fooled. Don't let the 0-0 score fool you. It was an entertaining first half. Lots of fireworks, lots of physicality, action pretty much everywhere except the back of the net. Bob, what can we expect in the second half from these two sides?
I think both sides are going to come out here supercharged, and obviously you want to keep a level head, but I think both sides are just pumped up at this point. I think you're going to be seeing a lot more pushing and shoving and a lot of hard-hit balls on the floor. Hopefully some goals.
Especially as we draw closer to the finish line, I expect the intensity to only go up. As you mentioned, the prior two contests, 12 combined red cards. Only one tonight. Yellow cards. Yellow cards. Only 12 combined yellow cards.
It'd be a record of some sort if there was that many reds.
Of course. If there are 12 combined yellow cards, they wouldn't have enough to field a game.
Certainly, and we are swapping sides here, so the Sarah Lawrence Griffins will be on the right attacking the left, and your Mount St. Mary College Knights will be on the left attacking the right.
So still nothing. An impressive defensive effort from both sides, but Bob, really the talk of the town in the 45th minute. Peter Miles had a goal fall into his lap, a one-on-one with Knights goalkeeper Noah Horn. The first shot was saved. The second shot was rattled off the side of the cage. And so far, that's been the biggest opportunity and consequently the biggest missed opportunity.
Yeah, and a tightly contested contest such as this one, on the road, you're never going to get that opportunity back, so that definitely stings a little bit, but Miles is just going to have to come out here with a fresh head and try and find himself some more opportunities.
So neither side, I wouldn't say any one side has been outplaying the other. Pearl Jam on the public service system is electric, by the way.
I do love that. Rest his head on a pillow made of concrete. Yeah. All right. A 56 to 44 percentage possession rate for the Mount's favor.
I feel like that number or that percentage went down a lot as the first half winded down. Sarah Lawrence really found their footing on offense with, I'd say, less than 15 minutes to play in the first half.
Certainly, we have been informed in the past that it is not 100% accurate, so it is not solid gold.
I mean,
when you're looking at those numbers.
Of course, you take it with a grain of salt.
Always, always.
And
we will resume here.
All the stats here are taken by eyewitness. So I'm sure there's a little bit of a margin for error. Kicking it away for Sarah Lawrence is Leon Braunschweig. And Bob, it's time to party. The second half of action between the Griffins and the Knights.
And of course, mentioning the numbers and the folks behind it, shout out to the other teams that work the games and statisticians and interns that work all these games. You guys do the best.
You do. Makes our jobs a whole lot easier. And us being interns ourselves, that one bounced in front of the net, goes off the head of Hughes, it looked like. But Horn able to corral it regardless. So now out come the Knights, Bob, as you aforementioned. The Knights wearing white, headed towards the right side of your screen now, as that's loose in front. Show hat, able to wrap it up without much objection from anyone.
Definitely some obvious pressure. Sorry to cut you off. Some more pressure here coming out from the white jerseys. I think the Mount definitely want to grab this ball back as soon as they can.
Well, I think now, I mean, obviously you don't want to hit the big red button yet, but somebody is going to need to score to win. So I'd assume the later this shutout goes on, the more and more you're going to see the game plan be pumped in through the offense.
Oof. Tough tackle there from the far side. So you'll definitely see, I would not call it desperation, but you'll definitely see some more lunges at goal-scoring opportunities coming out from either side as we move on here.
That was the wording I was shooting for. Thank you for helping me out.
Always got to find something profound to say, as we do.
Bevavino to take the free kick, face guarded by Peter Miles. Miles backs off now. Bevavino with room to kick. He'll send it, presumably towards the goalie box, where the sea of Knights are waiting. That one just short. TJ Mark tried to get a head on it, couldn't, ends up falling just behind him, and now the Griffins will be able to push it the other way, heading left. Working with it now is Trent Paleka out of Honolulu, Hawaii. He has a step on Welsh. Welsh now gets in front of him. Paleka leaves it back deep for Braunschweig. Braunschweig sends that one towards the middle. Horn elects to let it go out towards the right of the net, out behind the end line. Knights ball.
And a veteran play there. Horn will probably take his time here, let his boys reset, give them a breather. They're going to restart 42 minutes and counting down on the second half.
Horn rolls it for Bevavino. He'll get it to Hughes to the far side of the field. Bevavino gets it back to Horn, gets it back to Bevavino. Bevavino has trouble with it, able just to deflect it to Hughes. Get it out of harm's way. That pass cut off by Gunderson. Gunderson now putting the moves on Mazzarelli. Shoved by Gutierrez, forced to pass it back deep. Here's Saul now working on Mazzarelli, able to get around him. Good pass up in front. Good move. The Griffins moving nicely on offense to open the second half. Falling is Braunschweig. That ball's still loose. It'll roll all the way to Horn uncontested. And the Knights are going to go the length of the field here.
Certainly, and Horn keen to grab those loose balls. He does not like anything rolling around in his box, so he will be very, very adamant to grab anything that gets shanked.
And a lot of second chance goals. I mean, I feel like a lot of rebounds. And we saw it with Peter Miles to close out the first half. Even if you do get that first save, if that ball is still loose in front, it's very much a live grenade.
Oh, absolutely. All bets are off if that ball gets away from you and there's nothing you can do about it. So you always have to make sure you secure it with two hands.
Corner kick for Sarah Lawrence, their second of the contest.
Firmly grasp it, as Mr. Patrick Starr would say.
Sea of green towards the left side of the goalie box. They all now crash towards the middle. It's a low kick. Tynan gets a head on it. Good job there on the deflection. Still loose in front. Paleka's shot blocked by Allison, out of play.
I'll say it was a pretty impressive daisy cutter there that came off that corner kick. That's not hard. Yeah, that's not hard, dummy. That's not easy to do at all. It was a very well hit ball.
And so Sarah Lawrence has come out swinging to open the second half. And, we talked about earlier on the broadcast, and that was still loose in front. Horn takes a weird bounce, shoots over the net, over the protective screen. Well out of play. That one's headed towards the courts. And we were commenting on how long it took Sarah Lawrence to find their stride offensively to open the first half. Open the second half, it seems they haven't missed a beat.
Certainly, but you have to be a little bit frustrated if you're Sarah Lawrence here, because you've gotten a second chance in the last 10 minutes of gameplay. You've gotten on the doorstep, and you just punched it 50 feet over the crossbar. So you definitely want to find something more quality there.
Bevavino rifles that one upfield, and from what I've come to discover both as a sports fan and a broadcaster, in a tight game like this, if you have enough opportunities and you can't cash in, the other team has all the momentum in the world. As that one's still loose in front, the Griffins have to get it out. Mazzarelli can't quite corral it. Here's Wallace now with a lot of room to work. Well outside the box, rifles that one back towards the center of the field. It's Tynan. Tynan bodies it up, has a shot on net. That one blocked by Shohat.
That wandering ball just fell over 5 different jerseys, I think, of both teams. Tynan found himself with one touch off the chest, just cracked one as hard as he could. Got deflected to the front post. Impressive possession from the Mount.
So it plays out exactly how I forecasted, not to put air in my own tires, but the missed opportunities for the Griffins leads to a great opportunity for the Knights. I would argue that's the best the best chance of the Knights so far. Tynan bodies it up, gets a good shot off, but just a better save by Elijah Shohat.
That's a great point. Of course, as you get deeper into games and you try to push too much for goals, a lot of times you can find yourself overextended and giving away opportunities.
Shohat, the second string goalkeeper, of course. Jonas Alice went down with an injury earlier in the game, and he has played quite well. He's made 2 impressive saves now. Keyser working along the near sideline, elects to just let it go untouched out of bounds. It'll stick with the Knights. Tynan intended for Keyser. That pass just out in front, goes off the head of Berkson, out of play. Tynan will throw it in again.
Going to be looking for a deep throw in here, probably towards the bottom touchline if I was to take a guess.
Throw in coming from Tynan. Tries to get that one inside the goalie box, intended for Welsh. Pass goes just high. Braunschweig sends that one upfield. It'll be kept inbounds by Wallace. Bevavino takes it away from Miles. Tomey takes it away from Bevavino. Now here's Keyser with a step, takes that one from Tomey. Keyser gets it to Mazzarelli. The Knights operating out of their own end here. So as I'm sure you can pick up, or you can tell as it's being picked up on the broadcast, the wind has picked up, perhaps a sign of storms to come.
Whoa.
As Keyser rifles that one nearly out of the field entirely, rattles off the fence. 45% chance of rain at 8 o'clock. That is about 20 minutes from now.
Definitely will add an interesting aspect of the last 20 minutes is played in rain. Rain obviously adds a lot of unknown variables to any contest of any sport.
And like we were talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, a wet turf makes the soccer ball do funny things, and we'll see how important that may end up becoming. This game is still 0-0.
Definitely, and as a testament to a lot of the strange things, a lot of the chances that have come through this game, I think a wet turf would have definitely changed the outcomes of those oddities.
And we'll see if a wet turf comes into play down the stretch as Welsh plays impressive defense. Here's Berkson, tried to get it upfield. Looks like he slipped a little bit. Now here's Tomey with a step. Tried to get it to Branchvog, can't. Now here's Kieser. Kieser working it right around midfield. We'll just send it all the way back. It's Allison.
The pace of play definitely increasing here. The Mount just need to take a breather, and they need to slow down as much as they can because they do prefer that slower build-up style, and Sarah Lawrence is trying to not let them do that.
Sarah Lawrence moving with speed, certainly have the Knights on their heels through the first 8 minutes of the second half. Berkson, where's that one? Square off the forehead, out of play. It'll go the way of the Knights. The throw-in, fielded cleanly by Mazzarelli, able to knock it down, can't get a pass off. That one's rifled upfield, out of play, out near the Griffins bench. A throw-in coming again for the Mount.
I can't help but notice the daycare here of Wallace, Welsh, and Mark making a whole lot of noise here on the right side of the pitch and up towards the attacking third. So we'll have to see what they can conjure up as we get deeper into this half.
Wallace fires it in. Intended for somebody who I assume is right behind this gray 10.
A little bit difficult to see when we have two massive blocks in our sight of view.
Pass ahead now, Tomey giving chase. Hughes knocks it away.
Great play by Hughes there. Heads up play from the junior. That's a veteran's play to knock that out of bounds. Punch it as far away as you can. Let the defense reset.
So another opportunity early for Sarah Lawrence. Their offense in full stride now. That pass deflected off someone in front. I believe it was Mazzarelli. It'll go out of play. The Griffins will throw it in a second time. Doing the honors is Paleka.
Going to be a deep throw in here to try and get a flick on towards the net, if I were to take a guess.
That one goes off the head of Tynan. It's loose in front. Taking the shot is Gunderson. It's deflected, but still loose in front.
Huge block by Tynan there in the box. That ball was hammered off of the one time.
Nicely done. And the Knights now pushing it the other direction. Mazzarelli gets it to Gutierrez. Gutierrez operating towards the far sideline. Low line drive pass. And Welsh was in the area. The pass well out of reach. Shohat corrals it. And the Griffins on the attack.
Gutierrez definitely saw it, and Welsh was definitely in space. He just didn't hit it quite right. Very difficult to get the ball pushed upfield exactly where you want it.
A pass well up ahead, intended for Miles. Miles corrals it, gets around Hughes. From the corner of the box, works his way inside, can't get a shot off. He's tripped by Gutierrez. No whistle, no stoppage at all, and the Knights may have caught a break there.
All ball, as the homers would say. Definitely a close one there, but the orange shirt waves his arms off.
Now here's Tynan with the step, sliding effort there from Jordy Donnelly. Here's Welsh now with speed, guarded tightly by Berkson. Loose in front, still Shohat dives on it, makes the save.
Wow, an unbelievable opportunity for Welsh there. Just freshman getting in on his own here. Taking a really hard shot low, gets saved, and gets gobbled up by the goalkeeper.
And Cam Welsh, 2 game-winning goals in the Knights' last 2 contests.
Definitely a difference maker, so I think it'll be a pretty obvious statement to say that obviously I'm on the pitch with the lads right now. The Mountain's definitely going to be feeding him up that wing to see what he can get done here in these late stages.
And, of course, in these late stages of games, 0-0, I mean, now more than ever you want to play through your scores.
100%. You just want to go to the guys that's going to get done for you. And when you get this late in the game, you have to go for broke. All 3 points are going to come home as soon as you score one.
Now here's Welsh with a step on Paleka, gets it to Mark toward the top of the box. Mark tried to get it inside, has that pass deflected, and Gutierrez plays it off of balance, goes over his head, guarded tightly by Saul, gets around Saul. Good defense there from Kairos Diaz, takes that one away from Gutierrez. Diaz pokes that one upfield, bodied up by Miles. Miles guarded by Bevivino and Tynan. Works it back deep. Good pass, good ball movement here from Sarah Lawrence. It's Tomey for Paleka right near the near sideline. Paleka guarded by Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli leaves it for Wallace. Wallace with some help defense. That shot sent towards the net, wrapped up by Horn. Not too many theatrics there. Horn makes the routine save. That ball presumably would have ended up just to the left of the net.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing to write home about there. Mark had a step on it, couldn't quite corral it. And so this feels like the reverse of the first half, where the Knights dominated the time of possession, couldn't quite get that perfect opportunity, and Sarah Lawrence struggled to find their footing on offense. This second half, the complete inverse.
Yeah, certainly. It looks like the Mount is getting a lot of great counterattacking opportunities, so you're just going to have to see if they can put one home to be able to take that crucial 1-0 lead.
And again, in a close game like this, a scoreless game like this, if you stay true to your game, good things will come.
Always. And they say in hockey, get pucks deep, get pucks in the net. So you just want to see how many times you can get bounces in towards the box to see if someone will fall home for you.
Gunderson has some trouble with it, gets it back now, swarmed by both Mazzarelli and Gutierrez. Gutierrez just outside the Knights box, sends that one up towards the middle of the field. Bergson able to body it up. Welsh gets a foot on it, but the Griffins are able to keep with it. Here's Paleka. Paleka towards the net, rockets that one well high over the crossbar. And it remains a scoreless contest.
Field goal is good. Up and through the uprights, it's good for 3 points.
So the Griffins continue to knock on the door, but so far nothing to show for it.
Definitely showing off a little bit of muscle, but nothing too dangerous there coming out from the Griffins. So I would definitely agree, yes. Nothing too dangerous.
Bevavino for Horn. Horn lobs that one upfield. It's Hughes. He'll play that one off a bounce. Leaping effort from both parties. The Knights able to come away with it. Here's Tynan. Tynan with a step, works it upfield. Just outside of the midfield circle. Good leading pass. It's Mark. Mark has Welsh. Sliding effort from Bergson. That ball still loose in front. Off the post. Mark's shot just wide.
Oh, no.
So Mark beat the last man he had to beat, and the shot goes off the left goal post. And is the Knights with a missed opportunity. Still 0-0.
It seems to be the far end net right below the Garden Apartments. It's just a net of doom and despair as there's a second chance. Just narrowly missed. First one by Sarah Lawrence, second one by MSMC. Just a brutal break there.
You're right, that goal on the right side of your screen, there's some sort of force field around it. Each side now, both unable to cash in on what feels like golden opportunities.
And a shame for both strikers who have been working so hard throughout this first almost 60 minutes. Yes, 60 minutes.
Beautiful pass up ahead. Bevavino, impressive leaping effort. Good job getting ahead on it, knocking that ball off course.
The wind is picking up here, if I can mention, if you can hear a little bit of tuning from the microphone, so I will have to assume rain is coming in soon.
Now here's Welsh. Welsh with room to operate. And so now it's a 0-0 game, and both teams have squandered opportunities. Bob, how do you expect this last half hour to look? As Show had a diving effort, he collides with Mark, no whistle. Both parties are furious.
Whoa. A lot of hands and yelling from the Mount side. Definitely seemed like an aggressive play there from Shohat, but he does have the right to that ball. And Mark, I think, sold a little bit of a theatrical performance to flip over the tender, but definitely a close play.
And again, Bob, don't let the 0-0 fool you. This has been an action-packed contest.
It could easily be a 3-2 game at the moment, so everything's on the line here as both teams look for the first goal of the night.
Now here's Miles. Impressive effort just getting away from the sea of Knights. And now there's a stoppage. Gutierrez takes Saul to the ground. The referees take exception. And it'll be a free kick from a pretty nice spot here for Sarah Lawrence.
Looks like a little less than 40 yards, maybe about 37, 38. Very animated benches from both sides here, so this is going to be an interesting free kick to see what the Griffins come up with.
This one poised to come down to the wire. Scoreless through 60 minutes, 28:52 to play. Scoreless through 65 minutes, I should say.
So there's some
No, it is scoreless through 60. My math was right the first time.
Some nonverbal signals from the Griffins. We'll see what they cook up.
Lobs out one towards the middle of the field. Nobody home.
Oof. Very, very well-driven ball to the back post there. Just couldn't find a green shoe or a green head.
Coming into the game now, Morris Monaco Collins from London, England.
Welcome in, lad.
The teams we play against, both on the men's and women's sides, they have an impressive amount of pull from seemingly almost every corner of the world.
They really do. In a footballing country like England, I would love to know what he's doing here playing Division III soccer.
Still loose in front. Now here's this Wallace gets it to Welsh. Loose in front. Bergson, impressive defensive effort. He wants it to go the Griffins' way. The refs signal it will go the Knights' way.
Very difficult play there, of course. It's going to get very suffocating for any winger to be playing against the opponent's bench when the touch line is just on top of you and they're going to be letting you have it the entire rest of the way.
So the referee, an impressive effort there just to get out of the way of the pass from Braunschweig, working with it, Eloy Pampin. And now the Griffins will begin to operate along the far side of the field. Here's Saul. Saul with a step, gets around Gutierrez. Nice pass corralled by Braunschweig. That pass just up ahead, intended for a Griffin, just out of reach. Horn wraps it up before anything else can come of it.
And of course, the senior goalkeeper, as I mentioned earlier, very keen to grab those loose balls. He does not like anything rattling around inside the 18.
Allison and Horn playing ping pong. The Knights' defensive core just taking care of the ball as of right now. Wallace will send it upfield. Here's Tynan. Tynan gets a body on it, leaves it for Mark. Mark poised for a kick. Going for a piggyback ride is Jordy Donnelly. No whistle.
Very strange play there.
And so what has been an already physical contest just seems to continue to ramp up.
Definitely building more pressure here, as we've mentioned in past broadcasts, that metaphorical volcano. The baking soda is trickling in here, and I have to assume there's going to be an explosion coming.
Waiting is Wallace. He'll just leave it for Allison. Coming to check on him is Collins. The Knights able to get rid of it.
Very well played ball there from the back.
Here's Hughes along the far sideline. So the Knights' defensive core being very methodical with the ball, just seeming like they just have to get something going on offense. That seems to be the goal, and now with 26 minutes left to play, eventually you won't have a choice.
It definitely starts with one, and I would have to agree. I think they're just going to have to keep pushing upfield and seeing what they can find in open space.
Horn's pass. He is able to get it off cleanly, but Collins was there with perhaps a little more pressure than usual.
Definitely an open ball that Sarah Lawrence thought they can grab. Came in very, very quick. Mount's going to have to be careful with those loose balls around in the back line.
Bransdorfer on the Sarah Lawrence sideline. Lots of hand signals, no doubt cooking something up. Throw in on the border of the attacking third for the Griffins. Leaves it for Collins. Guarded tightly by Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli wins that battle. Now he just has to get it out of the sea of Griffins. Does so successfully. Now here's Tynan. Tynan with some room to work. Good pass up ahead. Here's Welsh. Stays on side, corrals the ball, and we'll see if the Knights can turn this into something. Good defensive effort there. Aiden Roney knocks that one out of bounds. Quick throw in. Tynan gets it to Welsh. Centering pass. That one blocked. Tynan goes across the field. It's Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli sizes it up, kicks it straight up. Mark and Mazzarelli both get feet on it. Neither one can corral it. It's Hughes now operating well outside the box. Sends that one back towards the middle. Getting ahead on it is Jordy Donnelly. Still loose in front. Another header from Benjamin Berkson. And so Sarah Lawrence, the interior defense, has answered the call.
Most certainly playing a sweeper style of defense here. They do not want anything trickling around. They're just hammering anything out that comes their way.
And another ball in deep. Another header from Berkson. Another foot from Jordy Donnelly. And the Griffins' interior defense still playing quite well. Tynan across the field. Here's Wallace. The Knights have had the ball for some time now. Speak too soon. That one quickly picked off. Working with it along the near sideline is number 17, Henry Seas. That one picked off. A late whistle, and the ball will go the way of the Griffins.
Very hard-fought battle in front of this covered-up bench that we can't see, but definitely Wallace putting in a whole lot of work on that right wing on his own lonesome right in front of the Sarah Lawrence bench. Never easy to do that as a freshman, or anyone really.
Collins to throw it in. It's Roney to throw it in, right in front of the Griffins bench. Sarah Lawrence, I feel like, has controlled the time of the possession, at least for the most part here in the second half. We've played 21 full minutes, 23 and a half minutes to play. But neither side, again, unable to cash in.
Check's definitely still being written, floating along, waiting for them to clear. So nothing to write home about from either side, but certainly a lot of chances, and I would assume.
Roney's throwing for Collins, goes off the foot of Collins, kept inbounds, kicking it out of play is Tynan. Roney, impressive effort to get out of the way. Another throw in for Sarah Lawrence. They're wasting no time. Roney gets it to Collins. Roney's pass towards the middle, takes a weird bounce. Horn able to corral it.
Cheeky redirect there. Horns completely fit for the challenge. It's been huge in net for tonight.
Took a bounce off the body of Peter Miles. Horn there to play the bounce, and that's 6 saves now for Horn.
Great night from the guy. I mean, it's just been phenomenal performance from the netminder. Besides that one oopsie towards the end of the half there, he's been a brick wall.
And even that oopsie towards the end of the second half, he was able to get himself out of that mess. I mean, perhaps it took a little bit of help, but ultimately he did keep the Griffins out of the back of the net. A late whistle. It'll go the way of the Knights.
Definitely some aggressive play here. Wallace taking a bit of a tumble. The freshman able to stand tall and win that ball up the wing.
Wallace the free kick. The wind rattling through the booth, surely a sign of storms to come. We'll keep you updated as that.
Entire gazebo that is protecting us is shaking on its foundations.
No doubt due to the rambunctiousness of the crowd.
Oh, of course, the slew of Sarah Lawrence and Mount St. Marion College fans that have littered around our press box. Really letting them have it.
It's not raining yet, so far it's a nice night. I mean, the fact that it's dark out now kind of the fact that it's cloudy doesn't mean nearly as much. There's that beautiful centering ball. Getting a body on it is Wallace. Sees, gets a foot on it for Sarah Lawrence. Wallace catches up to it before Roney does. So now the Knights are going to work with it from their own end. Tynan just trying to get it back into the offensive end. Welsh gets a good foot on it. Hoffman giving chase. Getting ahead on it is Berkson out of play. This will be a throw-in for the Mount. A whistle and substitutions now for both sides. Alex Napoli coming back on for the Mount. Coming back in for Sarah Lawrence, number 14, Eloy Pampin.
Definitely some minor tactic changes here late, or at least some game plan changes here as we get into these final 20 minutes. Going to be a track race here to see who can find the first tally.
20:43 and counting down. Bob, we're shaping up for a photo finish.
We certainly are, as the water continues to boil and you hope that thermostat eventually hits the proper temperature to find what you need to find.
So we're waiting, both sides waiting for 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The Knights have had a lot of the offensive possession as of late, but for the most part, it's just been trying to set up offense as opposed to any actual opportunities.
Definitely finding that first ball has been definitely there. It's just that finding that second ball and that service into the box has been the struggle from both sides, it seems to be.
Collins, good job corralling it. The kick downfield, blocked by Keyser, stays in play. Allison with a foot on it, leaves that one on the ground. That one picked off by Pampin, fresh into the game. Mazzarelli takes that one away. Couple of bad turnovers from both sides. Here's Hughes, far end of the field, stops, waits, commiserates. Here's Bevavino, gets it to Allison.
And a collective deep breath you can see from the White as they're completely slowed this game down as much as they possibly can.
And that's been a theme in the second half. The Knights have spent a lot of time, and the Knights defensive corps spent a lot of time just commiserating with the ball, trying to set up any sort of offense. We are now officially under the 20-minute mark. Bevavino leaves it for Hughes. And if the Griffins won't contest, the Knights won't try and push it upfield. Now they push it upfield. It's Hughes. That pass intended for Mark. Over the head of Mark. Quickly returned back the way it came. There's a stoppage.
A bit of an offsides, I believe, here. And, of course, you see so much with that slow build-up play from the back line. You pass the ball around between your center backs and your full backs to try and lure in some attackers to pressure you. That frees up your midfield. But when Sarah Lawrence isn't biting on anything, there's nothing for the Mount to really push forward.
Doing the free kick will be Kairos Diaz. And if you're a soccer purist or if you have a defense-first mentality, this has been the game for you.
It's been a real dandy for those who love Mourinho ball. But, of course, those who like goal scoring has not gotten quite the treat just yet.
Oh, of course, and it's, if you're into the highlight reel plays and there's a whistle and a stoppage, it'll stay the way the Knights as Mark takes a hard fall. If you're into the glitz and glamour or highlight reel version of soccer, this game is not for you. And if you are, again, a purist, if you enjoy the little things, this is certainly the game for you. It's like appreciating a good pitcher's duel in baseball.
Of course.
Everybody loves the home run. Everybody loves the long ball. But there's something to be said for two starters just dueling it out. Roney with a step. Good defensive effort there from Wallace.
Hard 50-50 ball.
The referee rules it'll go the way of the Knights. So now the finish line looming over the head of both sides. 17 and a half minutes to play. Still 0-0. And obviously, Bob, you and I had alluded to this earlier. You don't want to overstep. You don't want to play outside of your boundaries. But in a 0-0 contest, or really in any tied game, at some point, you have to start being aggressive.
Of course, when you're reaching almost the 75th minute here, you're reaching the point of no return, and at some point you have to decide whether you're going to follow the path or not.
Now here's Allison for Bevavino. That pass a little soft, almost picked off. The Knights, good job just getting it out. Rifled out of play towards the Knights bench. It'll go the way of the Griffins. A stoppage. It'll go the way of the Griffins again. And while we have a little bit of a lull, I think we need to appreciate, or we need to normalize having a mythical creature as your mascot. Because we've talked about cool mascots in the Skyline. Griffins is one that routinely comes up. I mean, this is an untapped market here.
I do like a good Griffin. I feel like we don't see enough unicorns either.
Unicorns, the national animal of Scotland, by the way. Real fun fact. Sees wears that one off the chest. Kick in the head. We hope Wallace is okay. Wallace playing defense.
Dangerous play called.
Where's a kick from Seas. Wallace checking his forehead. Gets checked on by the ref. He appears all right.
Dangerous play called. Sarah Lawrence not happy with the call, but that last play on par with a Conor McGregor head kick. So I will refrain from saying anything else.
The head kick was unintentional, but at the end of the day, it was still a head kick. Malicious intent or not, usually that's ill-advised in soccer.
Of course. You got to keep the players safe at the end of the day.
Miles in pursuit of the ball. Bevavino catches up to it before he can, but the Griffins are able to come away with it. Stuck between their attacking third and the midfield line. Working it back towards the midfield line. Braunschweig able to keep it somehow, some way. Now here's Seas. Seas walks it in, picked up by Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli, good poke check there. Napoli comes away with it from Mount St. Mary. And that pass up ahead of both Knights, both intended targets, somehow unable to catch up to that one. The Griffins come away with it again. Now here's Braunschweig. That pass almost picked off by Mark. Braunschweig falls. The referee doesn't bite. On we play.
Played advantage there, I believe. And the Griffins did maintain possession, so he wasn't going to go blow the whistle.
Collins rifles that one towards the net, deflects off somebody up in front, and now it is the Griffins' defensive core looking to get something going. Braunschweig again, guarded tightly by Mark and Tynan. That one rifled towards the center. Horn on to make a routine save. Under 15 minutes to play. Still 0-0. The Knights completely dominating the shots on goal, 6-2. But I think, Bob, you and I would agree that Sarah Lawrence has had the best opportunity to score in this game.
It certainly seems that way, and they have not cashed in on those opportunities, but they have for sure gotten the clear looks at the nylon.
Braunschweig rifles that one downfield. Nobody in green in sight. Now here's Miles with speed. Gets caught up with Allison. Allison looks to the ref for help. The referee doesn't give it to him. And that just plays into the closer we get to the finish line, I feel like the more physical this game is going to get.
Absolutely. His Horn is very vocal here in his back line, trying to fire his boys up to push through this last 15 minutes. Definitely going to be a testy final chunk of this game.
And in an intense game, and we talked about all broadcast how conference games just mean more. Bob, I mean, what do you expect these guys on both sides, how do you manage to keep a level head?
It's definitely difficult, and I think both sides would be keen to unload the magazine here, not to make a weapons reference, but definitely going to let it all out on the pitch, but I think you also have to have a balance between chaos and controlled play.
Also fit Tommy back in the game for the Griffins. Bob, I'm sorry to cut you off.
So I was losing the train of thought just a tad bit there. Couldn't find the proper vernacular.
But it is just something you and I have been alluding to all broadcast. I mean, I also lost my train of thought.
Of course, we're a little off cue because if the game started on time, we would be finished by now.
It's a long day just at school. It's Wednesday, middle of the week.
Happy hump day to those who celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing about Wednesday is that once you're done with it, you're halfway done with the week. There's not much else.
That mentality got me through high school.
Yeah, you and me both.
Used to think that every day. I'd actually wake up happy on Wednesdays thinking like, oh, my week's basically finished. Because I only had 2 more days. Because you get through Thursday, it's the only like legit day, and then Friday is basically free. You hardly do anything.
Thursday, I would say Thursday night is always better than Friday ever will be. Because, I mean, all of Thursday night, you're like, oh, it's Friday tomorrow.
Exactly. Then again, sometimes on Friday, if you like truly have nothing to do, then you're like, nice, tomorrow's Saturday.
Exactly.
You're like, nice.
So we're coming up on the best 3-day stretch of the week. Roney, impressive sliding effort, keeps that one in bounds. We'll see if something comes of it. Hard tackle from Wallace. Roney shaken up. Horn vocal about maintaining a level head. Surprisingly, no whistle there.
Monstrous tackle. Got the deflection off of a green boot. Wallace fired up on the sideline here, straight in front of the bench. I mean, that's a huge play from a freshman there that you would not expect from a freshman.
So that's Wallace, Ethan Wallace, laying down the law, and it stays 0-0. And so again, we only expect this game to get more physical. And Bob, for the most part, the referees have been letting them play.
It really does, and I do respect letting the boys play as long as things don't get dangerous. So we're definitely going to get a testy last few minutes.
Napoli with room to work. That pass intended for Mark, picked off. Tomey can't corral it. Allison from the midfield line gets around Tomey for Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli will leave it for Hughes along the far sideline. Now Hughes with a step. Hughes sends that one towards the middle, deflected by Berkson. And the Griffins will begin a counterattack. We have a whistle and a stoppage.
Seems to be they're bringing the ball back somewhere.
Leon Braunschweig clearly not pleased with whatever the referee has to say. And Coach Evan Bransdorfer confused, unhappy, or both.
Seems to be unhappy with the call of the stoppage because there was an injury stoppage from the referee. Sarah Lawrence unhappy as they were in a transition of attack in that moment.
So an impassioned but not aggressive exchange between both sides.
Just of course, sometimes you have questions.
Of course. Not unreasonable. So around 11.5 minutes to play. Still 0-0. Lots of physicality, lots of defense. And we'll see if anybody can pull in front here in the waning minutes of the contest.
I mean, you're certainly inching towards the point of no return. Of course, no stoppage time in college, as I mention every single broadcast. So you got to make a move here soon.
Both parties taking their sweet time, spotting the ball in its appropriate location. The clock not running, of course.
Okay, so drop ball played. We'll be back into play here.
Here's Berkson with a little bit of room, but deep in his own end. Berkson. Tynan keeps watch, doesn't quite pursue the ball. The Griffins will push it upfield. Working it along the near sideline, or far sideline. That's Chase Bolden. Still loose, here's Mark. Mark gets it to Hoffman. That one stays on the ground. Gunderson sent it upfield. That pass picked off. The pass intended for Tomey, taken away by Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli leaves it for Bevavino, who gets it back to Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli now, the Griffins giving a little bit of room to work. Looking to cross midfield, does so successfully. Rather noisy car passing behind us now. Good pass up ahead, giving chase is Welsh.
Can't quite catch it.
A good just box out effort. So 10:42 to play. And it will be a goal kick coming on for the Griffins, Connor Saul. So with 10:42 left in the contest, the Griffins better call Saul. Number 22 back out on the field.
And the Knights subbing in number 20, Sebastian Belinsky.
First time we've called Belinsky's name tonight. Another freshman. Youth movement still in full swing.
Of course, we the people want to see the youngins out and about.
So both sides trade volleys. Bevavino corrals a bouncing ball, tries to get it to Hughes, and a sloppy turnover. That one ends up out of play, and the Griffins will have the ball with favorable field position.
Definitely not against about to give that one away. It's going to be a dangerous throw here from the Griffins. See what they cook up on the wing.
And in tied games this late in the contest, I feel like doing the little things wrong, for the most part, you can get away with them. But now, in these types of games, those kinds of mistakes are put under a magnifying glass.
They sure are, as the Knights are going to build up something here. But you certainly have to be careful not to do anything.
Mazzarelli's pass splits Keyser and Welsh, giving chase. Great defensive effort from Josh Sakuti.
Firing up the Sarah Lawrence bench. Both benches very animated on any giveaway or possession.
Single-digit minutes to play now. Not a single player sitting down on either sideline. Here's Tynan to the top of the box, gets a shot off. That one blocked in front, late whistle.
And we're going to get a free kick here just outside the box. This is going to be a dangerous opportunity for the Knights. A handball called just outside on the arc, I think. Sorry, I got very excited here. I thought they called a penalty, but hardly not. So this is going to be about a 20-yard free kick. I almost guarantee we're going to be seeing a shot here, Lucas.
I mean, might as well. 9 minutes left of the contest. You know, opportunities don't grow on trees. I mean, obviously it'll be tough to get a shot off, but when you're this close, this late in the contest, why not take one?
Absolutely. The Mount are not going to send a lot of men in for the deflection here, so you're going to see a heavy wall set up by Sarah Lawrence. No man laying down on the floor, so the low-driven shot is available if Tynan or Keyser want it.
Tynan and Keyser both posed like they can take the free kick. It'll be Tynan. Tynan sends it away, and he scores!
Oh, that's an absolute thunderbolt!
Quinn Tynan on the free kick, and it's 1-0 Mount St. Mary.
Oh, that's just a beauty. The boys mob the sideline. An absolute thunderbolt comes out down where the spiders live. Tynan gives the Mount an advantage, 1-0 here late in the match.
There it is with 8.5 minutes to play. Quinn Tynan puts the Knights in front, 1-0.
Wow, that is a well-hit free kick. That's something you just dream of on the training ground, and Tynan got the opportunity. He said, I'm going to take it all.
And so there it is. First blood has been drawn with 8.5 minutes to play. We'll see if Sarah Lawrence has a response.
82nd minute. It's going to be do or die time here for the Griffins. We'll have to see what the green and gold is made of.
Taking the kick to start things back up, it's Braunschweig. Braunschweig for Pampin. And Bob, if we weren't in for a good finish before, we're in for one now.
Going to be interesting here. I have to imagine the Mount is going to park the bus, and Sarah Lawrence is going to be all offense, so we're going to be seeing a lot of balls get played in here from the green and gold.
Mark, a little overzealous on defense, gets a slap on the wrist. Sarah Lawrence with the free kick just opts to set something up. Now here's Bergson.
The Mount's going to keep as many white jerseys back as possible and just let Welsh run around in the back line and try and pressure wherever he can.
For Paleka. Paleka, impressive kick off field, getting a body on it is Belinsky. It goes all the way back out towards Saul. Saul, that pass is deflected by Mazzarelli. Mazzarelli guarded by Braunschweig. Rifles that one upfield, intended for Welsh. Welsh corrals it. Nobody home in white yet, just yet. Now here's Tynan. Tynan sends that one away, goes for his leg. We hope he's all right. Rolling it away is Shohat. 7.5 to play. Working it upfield. Here come the Griffins. Tomey gets a body on it. Nobody in green in the area. Good job from Belinsky to immediately clear it out. Bodying it up is Mark. The Knights working with it deep in their own end. They have to find a way to get it out. Hughes just rifles that one out of play. Headed towards the sod. Griffin's ball. Tomey guarded tightly by Hughes. Hughes sliding effort. That ball stays in bounds. No whistle. The Knights just have to get it out of their own end of the field.
Some cheeky wing play to keep that ball in, as the Knights are going to continue to try and play keep away here in these late stages.
So Sarah Lawrence, they're going to be forced to go all in here pretty soon. The Knights now just, you can't concede the equalizer. Miles guarded tightly by Allison. A late whistle. Miles gets busted. The referee blows the whistle. It'll go the way of the Knights.
Allison's been eating fouls all game long. He finally gets one called in a crucial moment here that's huge for the Mount. They're going to get to eat up a lot of time on this free kick.
Much to the disappointment of the Sarah Lawrence sideline.
Sarah Lawrence crowd that is on top of our booth, if you can hear them in the background.
Bevavino and Horn do a little bit of debating about who's to take the goal kick. It'll be Bevavino.
Bevavino will probably boot this as far as he can to keep it out of harm's way.
That one's sent away, and Bob, you were right. Just get it as far away from the Knights' own end as possible. I mean, obviously, 6 minutes, there's still room to tack on another one, but for the most part, you just want to play defense to close out the game.
Yeah, you really don't need to overpress here. You can just sit back as much as you can, see if you find anything over the top to your lonesome man up top, who is 15, Welsh. So there is no incentive for the Knights to score anymore because the win counts the same.
Kick goes deep. Hughes gets a head on it. Belinsky lunges, can't quite. Here's Miles, fires one. Horn knocks it down. So Miles rifles that one towards the net. Horn plays it off a bounce, saves it without second thought. A whistle, it'll go the way of the Griffins. And so the Griffins have gotten a few penalties to go their way. I mean, obviously the biggest one, the one Miles just got rung up on. But the Griffins have been able to take a few free kicks.
They certainly have, and I think they're going to have to try and make as much as they can out of these opportunities because you're not going to get that many this late in the game.
Berkson directing traffic, likely trying to get this ball in deep.
He's going to boot this as far as he can to that back post.
Sends it away. Griffins in pursuit. Horn makes the catch uncontested.
Certainly not where he wanted it. The veteran Horn going to hold on to that. He's going to chew up a whole lot of time here. Griffins are going to be forced to press him.
Horn does a little bit of directing traffic, volleys that one almost straight up. Here's Welsh. That ball takes a bounce. Him and Berkson leap for it both. Stays in play. Welsh takes a hard shove, no whistle.
Throwing off that ball, but a great effort by Welsh there being the lone man up top. Being able to move around so much to keep that ball in contest.
4:23 to play. The Walls closing in on the Griffins. Working with it now towards the far sideline. Here's Saul. Saul picked up by Belinsky. Tries to get around, gets the pass inside, does so, leaves it for Gunderson. That pass deflected, goes off the face of Keyser. Still loose, and that one will go all the way back for Shohat. Now Mazzarelli with speed. Shohat will beat him there and boot it upfield. Still loose, still towards the far sideline. Bevavino now. The Knights, Bevavino does a good job clearing it. The Knights just have to play defense. 3.5 minutes to play, still loose in front. Shohat a collision with his own guy. And a whistle before anything can happen.
Oh, dear.
The referee calling for the trainer immediately. The medical cart goes out, and Bob and I will step aside. So we hope all injured parties are okay, as number 0, Joseph Vaca, comes into the contest, the third goalie of the game for Sarah Lawrence.
Yeah, definitely really, really scary collision there. Never a good thing to be onto your third string goalkeeper, but final 3:30 here. Sarah Lawrence is going to have to try and find an answer.
3:32 to play. The Knights lead by a goal. That goal, the only goal of the contest, came in the 82nd minute, just a couple of minutes ago.
Just a world-class thunderbolt from Tynan into that bottom corner there. That was a monstrous shot. A huge play from a senior where you need it the most.
So the referee spotting the ball at the appropriate location. The cart's still along the sideline here, but we appear to be about ready to get back going again.
After the stoppage here, I think the adrenaline will slow down just a tad bit, and I think reality will start to set in for Sarah Lawrence. So it could be bad news bears for the Knights if Sarah Lawrence gets to take a breather here and reset themselves and go for the best possible opportunity to put one in the net.
Sarah Lawrence, I mean, by this point, you assume they're going to do everything they can to get the equalizer.
100%. They will be throwing everything but the kitchen sink here into the attacking third to see if they can find one to equalize.
So the medical personnel stays close to the shopping cart right in front of us. Bob and I will take another step aside, and we will return when the game does. And so after a scary collision, we appear ready to resume the last 3.5 minutes of the contest. Sarah Lawrence, both the coach on the sideline and the players on the field, visibly shaken up. We hope everything is okay. And there will be dark clouds over the remainder of this one, both literally and metaphorically, as the Griffins look for the equalizer with 3.5 minutes to play.
And definitely very, very scary stuff for the Griffins, as they're going to be going home with 3 players that were medically removed from this match. So we hope nothing but for the best for them, as we're going to conclude this game very soon.
Collins guarded tightly by Wallace. As that pass deflected, it caroms out behind the end line, out of play. The referees rule it a goal kick for the Mount.
Going to eat up even more time here as these last 2.5 minutes are going to start winding down.
Bevino rifles that one away, off the head of Paleka, out of play. It'll go the way of the Knights yet again. Wallace fires it away into a sea of bodies, both green and white. Takes a bounce deep into Griffin territory as Roney's there to make a play on it.
Wolf.
That one rifled
Oh,
off
that's
the
gonna
head.
miss. Oh,
Rifled off the head of Wallace, almost towards the broadcast booth. That ugly brown fence keeps it within the confines of the field. Paleka to throw it away.
We're going to get one that's going to come to us eventually.
At some point this year, I'm hoping. There's been a few close calls already.
Most certainly.
That one rifled towards the opposite corner of the field, nobody home. Belinsky giving chase, knocks it down. Mazzarelli goes off his foot. Mazzarelli able to corral it. And this isn't football, but if it were, it would be the 2-minute warning as Mazzarelli and a Griffin get tangled up. Under 2 minutes to play. There's a stoppage. It'll be Knights ball.
There's a little bit of a wrestling match on the far end of the field.
And the Knights are a minute 40 away from picking up a conference win, an oh-so-important conference win. And they would move to 2-0-1 against Skyline opponents this year.
It would be a huge result for the Knights, and that would be massive going into their upcoming match against a weaker Manhattanville side, so that would be very, very important for them. As things are going to get scary for Sarah Lawrence, they leave here with no points and a loss, and they're playing an undefeated Mount St. Vincent team coming up here over the weekend.
So two very different roads ahead for both sides. 1:05 to play. Crunch time now for Sarah Lawrence. That one tried to get it towards the middle of the field, over the protective screen, over everything, well out of play. The referees, I thought they were going to say that deflected off someone. There's just confusion about who gets the ball. So to stick with Mount St. Mary, Bevino to kick it away, 45 seconds and counting down. That one goes off the head of Braunschweig. Now here's Paleka. Paleka back to Braunschweig. 30 seconds and counting down. Guarded tightly by Kieser. Braunschweig forced out of bounds. No call, surprisingly, from the refs. Kieser goes down on all fours, able to come away with the ball somehow, out of play. And the referees are going to say it'll go the way of the Knights. The referee encourages Wallace to get the ball in faster. We're under 10 seconds to play. Ladies and gentlemen, the final buzzer sounds, and your final score here tonight. The Mount St. Mary Knights 1, the Sarah Lawrence Griffins 0. An impressive defensive effort from both sides. Quinn Tynan scoring the game's only goal. The Knights move to 2-0-1 in conference on the year.
A massive result from the Knights and an inspiring 90 minutes from the boys in blue. You absolutely love to see it, and that's just so exciting going into another conference matchup here. We'll have to hope they can keep the ball rolling.
So a 3-game unbeaten streak to open conference play for the Mount. I mean, you can't feel too much better than that.
Nothing but good things. I mean, if you're winning games and you're tying games, you're not losing games. So points are points, as they say. Points are points.
So the Knights pick up the 1-0 final score. We hope Eloy Pampin and Elijah Shohat, they are both okay. Your final score here tonight in what was a defensive battle. Mount St. Mary 1, Sarah Lawrence 0. Bob, when are we on the air next? I'm on the air on Saturday, but I believe you're out of the booth.
I will be this Saturday. You're going to be here. Friday, you will not be in the booth. I will be in the booth this Friday night against Vassar College for women's volleyball at 6 p.m. And you will be back in the booth for
A doubleheader.
A doubleheader, both against Manhattanville. Oh, for men's and women's, I apologize. It's for a 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. game. So
late.
God bless and best wishes to whoever will be taken away in this ambulance that has just pulled up to our campus.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, your final score here tonight. As always, I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth is Bob Hauk. We hope anyone and everyone is okay, and we will be on the air again soon.